Hi, I'm Balraj, and I'm here to show you all the three items that could represent my present, past, and future. Now, the item that can represent my past has to be these set of journals I've written from really just 8th grade. Now, even though I was only in 8th grade for a year, naturally, I managed to write in 4 books, all of them. I don't want to show too much because a lot of them are pretty personal, but you can tell I've written a lot in them. I wrote in color because I just wanted it to look pretty and pop out. But yeah, I definitely wrote in all of these, and there's a lot. Now I was in 8th grade from August 2016 to June 2017, so almost a year. And this can represent my past because, well, like I said, I was 13 at the time too. And a reason why I hold these books near and dear to me is because even today, and even in like the past, like a year ago or so, whenever I had like a bad day or I was going through some stuff, I would always read these books because I would always usually write down like how I felt in them. And even back then, it feels good to know that even back then I had I felt things, like it's hard to explain. I just like to look back at these books because you never want to forget where you came from, and really reading these journal entries really reminds me where I came from, and I can really appreciate that. So that's a reason why I keep these books near and dear to me and why they represent my past. Now, an item that can represent my present has to be this ring that my mom got me this year, the beginning of 2020. So this year, yeah, basically. Now, I am Indian, and the reason I mentioned that is because I don't know if you can see, there are these black lines. Now, these black lines are made out of elephant tusks. Now, as an Indian, we worship elephants, and we can't eat beef, so it ties into our gods. And supposedly, my mom has told me that by wearing this ring, you become more confident. Now, I'm a very socially awkward, anxious, just shy person. I mean, I'm not an antisocial. I do like to talk to people. I'm just very introverted. And honestly, ever since I started wearing this ring, I've been able to break out of my shell more. So I've been wearing it ever since. I only take it off if I'm like showering or something because I don't want it to slip and fall. But also, I forgot to mention that the gold parts are also made out of real gold, so there's that too. My mom used to wear this, but she gave it to me because she figured that I would need it more, and honestly, I really did, appreciate that. And I've been wearing it ever since, and honestly, it really does help. So this is an item that can represent my present because it really does impact, how I just do everything really at the moment. Now, an item that can represent my future, I know I said was a calculator, but my dad actually took it because we both share that calculator even 10 years later. So if I can talk about it briefly, I would say that when I was in 3rd grade, I used to be with my dad a lot. Like, I'm still close to my dad, of course, but back then, he would help me with my math homework. And this is back when we were learning like simple, like just long division, easy stuff. But it was a TI-82 calculator, I remember. And he currently has it at the moment, but if I could show you, it was a pretty old-fashioned, but it managed to work well. Like, I'm currently taking statistics at Pierce along with this class and a handful of others, so it really does help, and it's kind of awesome how I still managed to keep it in great condition. If I could show you, I definitely would. But don't worry, because instead I also have another thing my dad has given me, and it's a bit embarrassing to say, but when I was in 8th grade, right, I was previously homeschooled for 7th grade, and I had trouble making friends. So by the time I was finally being put back in a public school, and a new one at that, I really didn't know how to make friends. And it might seem a bit weird, but my dad has given me this book. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really read all of it because this is a massive book, but I did read almost half of it, and I remember some of the tips they taught you. And ironically enough, they actually work. For as old as the book this honestly helped, like the ring, help me break out of my shell, and was able to make friends that I still talk to this day, from 8th grade. And so, and I use these tips not just, for, talking, but to, persuade, people either. I'm not manipulative, of course, not in a manipulative way, just like a, social way, of making friends, just greeting people how you are. I really take tips from this, and I still remember some of the tips even to this day, such as asking people about themselves, you telling something about yourself. You always want to make it interesting. So I still use some of these tips to this day because, like I said, I'm a shy person. So this book honestly could represent my future as well, because everyone, needs to break out of the shell and be social sometimes, So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you.